Well, thank you, everybody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join our webinar today as we talk about the topic of insurance in Belgium for expats. So as the presentation will begin shortly, I'll just be the moderator of the webinar alongside our panelist, and I'll be introducing him in a second. So basically, we prefer to have everybody on mute when the presentation begins, but please feel free to raise your hand and ask any questions that you have. You can also put them in the chat, and we can also get to them later. But I know that Tom, who will be speaking today, is not shy about taking questions during the presentation. So just feel free to raise your hand and just jump in when you'd like to ask a question. We'll do our best to answer them for you. This webinar will be recorded, and the recording will be shared on our YouTube and social media channels afterwards. So if you have any questions, you can also put them in the Q&A section of this webinar, and that goes straight to the panelists, and only they can see them. Just a few different ways that you can interact. Before we start, a few disclaimers to go through for compliance, so just bear with me. The information presented is for educational purposes only. It does not intend to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and/or tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed herein. So with that said, so I'm Joshua Madden, as you can probably tell. So I'm a financial advisor with Dunhill Financial, based out of London in the UK, and we specialize in helping Americans abroad invest and plan their finances for the future. And with me today is our speaker, Tom de Mesmaeker. He is a specialized insurance broker helping out international mobile expats with their medical costs, group insurances, including pension, life cover, disability. He has a background in real estate management in a private planner company, as well as several years of experience as an insurance broker, and is the founder of his own broker company, A&V Consult. So with the introductions out of the way, I would like to then turn it over to you, Tom. Just go ahead and take it away. And yeah, let's get everything started.
Okay, thank you, Joshua. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the presenting in the presentation today. Today I'm speaking about the insurance in Belgium and abroad, especially in Belgium as an expat. Okay, here we are. I'm sorry. Do you see this?
That's okay. One second. There's one thing I will want to do real quick. I can try to open up. Okay, I was going to look at, maybe there was a chat issue. Are you okay to share? Hold on, I'll make you the host again. Can you try to share your screen again, Tom?
Yes. Okay. Now it's on the screen.
Okay, yep, I can see that. Can you put it in presentation mode?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, so thank you everybody to being present in this presentation. These are the points for today. My name is Tom de Mesmaeker. I'm the broker for A&V Consult. I'm a broker not so far from Brussels, about without the traffic jams, about 20 kilometers from here. So it's 30 minutes driving from the center of Brussels. And these are the points for today. As you know, insurance is not a material stuff. It's not selling wine or chocolates. It's quite theoretical. Sometimes it's boring. It's like this. But my intention today is to give you an introduction about the insurances and not a whole syllabus of information. So after the presentation, or in a couple of days or weeks, when you need to know some more detailed information about the several objects of the insurances, you can always contact me by email or phone for a personal discussion of it. As you know, insurance is quite a wide range of insurances. We have the typical damage insurance like house, car, family. But on the other hand, we have the life insurances, all the insurances about the personal insurances. So there's a lot of wide ranges of insurances. The most important insurance I will speak today of it. If you have questions about a specific insurance, you can always ask me later in the presentation. So I will introduce myself. I'm an insurance broker from 2008. I had already experience in the Brussels expat world for the real estates, and I also had experience with the AXA bank insurer company as an employee for the insurances. In 2008, I started up my own company, and it growth. And since 2014, I am self-employed in my own company, and I have several international and national clients, companies, private persons. Of course, I am officially registered. That's very important. And I am independent, so I work with several insurance companies, not only AXA or AG or DKV. No, I work with all the insurance companies in Belgium. And my core business is, of course, expats, pilot, and business broker. So not only I can provide the insurances for your personal insurance wallet, but also for your company. If you are self-employed or you have employees in your company, I'm here to help you. So as you know, insurances in Belgium, maybe you had already experience to underwrite an insurance in Belgium. You can underwrite an insurance with a bank or with a local broker or directly to the insurance company. If you work with a broker, you don't have to pay more or an extra cost to the insurance company. So the broker's fee is included in the premium. If you deal directly with the insurance company, the broker's fee is for the insurance company. If you work with a broker, the insurance company pays me. So as a person, as a client, you don't have to pay extra charges or costs to deal with a broker. In some other countries, it's total difference of working, but in Belgium, you only pay one premium, and my fee comes from the insurance company. So that's a little bit the way of working here in Belgium. First of all, insurances in Belgium, we have the language problem. The official languages in Belgium are Dutch and French, also German, but it's a small piece of German. Official English is not an official language. Some insurance companies today make English translations of policies, not all of them. We, as broker, we are putting pressure every year on the meetings to more and more give translations and explanations, brochures in English to help our clients. But it's an extra cost for the insurance company. So some insurance companies doesn't make or want to make this cost. But I'm here to help you to translate the policies and, of course, to give you the explanation in English. As you know, maybe Belgium is a difficult country, not only the languages, but also the paperwork. Sometimes it's old school. We have the intention to work paperless, but yeah, some insurance companies just want to have everything on paper. For example, for one car insurance, you have to sign 4 different documents. So we need from you 4 documents with your signature. So it's quite a lot of administration, but it's all regulated by the Belgium regulators, FSMA, from Brussels, and they are quite strict on it. So every year we receive control of the FSMA to see that our paperwork is all done. So also there's a lot of complexity of the insurance world. There's a wide range of insurances. And as I already said, the insurance taker, it can be a private person, a family, a self-employed person, or a company with employees. So we can start with the damage insurances like fire and car insurance. We start with fire insurance. You have, it's not an obligation. It's not an obligated insurance. There's in Belgium one insurance which is obligated, and that's your car insurance. You can't drive a car in Belgium without insurance, but you can have a property, rent, or if you are an owner, without an insurance. So a fire insurance is not obligated, but I give you the advice to underwrite, of course, in case of an accident, a claim, or fire, to avoid the financial problems after all. So as a renter, you have to insure your liability to the owner and the third parties. For example, if you have neighbors or in an apartment above or under you. And also there's a content insurance, of course, to protect your own content like TV, clothes, all your personal stuff. You can insure your contents against theft. We have some little guarantees like legal justice. What is legal justice? Legal justice is a guarantee that assists you in a claim. For example, if you live in an apartment and the neighbor above you had water damage and the water comes in your apartment, your legal justice guarantee will attack the fire insurance of your neighbor, and the 2 insurance companies will set up the claim. Also, you can underwrite extra coverage for IT, hard and software, swimming pools, art materials, for example, jewels or diamonds or paintings that cost a lot of money. We underwrite a special insurance for protection in fire and theft. Of course, if you are an owner, mostly, I said mostly, you have to go to the bank to underwrite a loan. And then the bank will ask you, okay, to protect this real estate, you are obligated to underwrite a fire insurance. If you have, because there's a lot of discussions in Belgium that the banks also offers a loan and fire insurance, and the brokers in Belgium says, okay, Mr. Bank, please only offer a loan and leave the fire insurance to the brokers. So, and when I said sometimes, but in some cases, I've seen a lot of very, very expensive fire insurance underwritten by a bank. So if you have some questions in the further days or months about your fire insurance, I'm also to help you to see, okay, is everything okay? But sometimes a bank is very expensive to underwrite a fire insurance directly related to your loan. But as an owner, you are best insured by fire protection and theft protection in case of fire and theft. What is fire? Fire is of course the fire, but we has also explosions, implosions, smoke and soot, lightning, an impact, and all these guarantees, all these risks are covered in fire insurance. So it's not only fire, but it's also nature disaster, storm, ice and wind. So all these risks are covered in your fire insurance in Belgium. These reasons are obligated in the fire insurance by law. So it's quite range. Then that's the fire insurance for your real estate as a renter or an owner. And of course, if you are living in Belgium, we have the civil liability. What is this civil liability? It's an insurance in private life who covers the responsibility of the insured person for physical and material damage responsible by or to other persons. And these are around the whole world. This coverage is very extended, and it's a quite small premium. About for a family, it's about €100 yearly. You see below the examples, a dog, your dog, or a dog of the neighbors bites you. That's regulated by the civil liability. A flower pot falls out of the window on a parked car, also covered. When you have children, all the acts of the children below 18 are covered. If you have a child and he smashed the TV of your neighbors or the TV of your friends on the floor and the TV is broken, the TV, it costs €2,000, it's covered. So the acts of the children under 18. Also in the traffic, you are covered by as an passenger, and also as an on electric bikes, as a when you're riding a bicycle on a Sunday morning and there's a car who gives you a little push and you are falling and you have had a broken arm, the car insurance will take contact with your civil liability insurance, and they will regulate the damage. So that's an all-round accident insurance, especially for families with dogs or children. So I give you the advice to underwrite this insurance, especially when you see the premium about €100 yearly for one family. And what is a family? All the people who are officially living in your house, on your address. It can be your children, it can be, of course, your partner, or other people who are officially living at your domicile address. Then we have the car insurance. As spoken, liability insurance is obligated. That's the famous green card. Now it's not green, it's white, but it was years they called the green license. You have to keep in your car. So liability based on the history and driver's license, of course. If you are an expat and okay, you say, I had a car and I had an insurance in United States of America, and now I'm moving to Belgium and I want to underwrite a car insurance. The driver's history from the USA is legal. So if you can prove that you didn't have any accidents in the last 5 years in America, we can give you a more cheaper premium. So if you can prove, okay, I was in America covered for the last 10 years and there were no accidents on fault, then we can give you a reduction. So the liability insurance is the insurance who covers the other people on the road. So if you're driving with your car and you have an accident on the road, your insurance will take contact with the car insurance, with the other third party, and they will regulate the damage. Of course, you bought a new car and you made an accident and your car is broken, it's total loss. You can underwrite an accident coverage for your car. So in case of an accident and you are responsible, the reparation costs are reimbursed by your insurance. It's an all protection insurance. We have also the legal justice guarantee, and we can underwrite a psychical damage coverage for all the passengers and the driver, of course. Car insurance are very tailor-made, so we can offer you a quotation or an insurance company on your personal requirements, and also we can give you at least 3 insurance companies to compare. Then we can explain you, okay, in this insurance company A, these guarantees are covered, and insurance company B, these insurances are covered. So we can compare it in a one document, also not only the price, but also the guarantees. And then we have the health care insurance for you and your family. As an expat, you are covered by an expat health insurance or by a healthcare insurer in the United States of America. When you're leaving the States and you come to Belgium, you can underwrite an healthcare insurance for you and your family in Belgium. But there are 3 conditions to do this. First of all, you have to have a domicile in Belgium. So you have to live officially in Belgium. You have to be covered by the Belgian Social Security, like the Mutuel, if we've spoken, like Partena Mut. It's one big Social Security for the expats in Brussels. And also, you have to live here, so you can only be maximum 3 months abroad. So if you say, okay, I'm here in Belgium for 6 months, and after 6 months I go back to the States, it's not possible to underwrite a healthcare insurance in Belgium. So if you do, for example, 6 months Belgium, 6 months in the States, you has to be on the expat level. I will explain the expat level in a further slide. But if you say, okay, I'm an expat, but I'm living in Belgium and I go often abroad, but not for longer than 3 months, then you can underwrite an healthcare insurance. Healthcare insurance in Belgium is quite cheap if you compare it with the States. For example, if you are a person of 30 years and you are in good health condition, a basic healthcare insurance costs you about 400 or 500 euros yearly. So it's quite cheap if you compare it in the United States of America. So one of the 3 conditions are missing. You have to go to the expat insurance, and the expat insurance is without any social security coverage. But I will explain in the further slides. And what's in the Belgium healthcare insurance? We have, of course, the inpatient. And that's very important, especially for people from America. We have here in Belgium a free choice of hospital and doctor. and you have also the choice of a single room. So I know that in America you don't have the free choice to go. Okay, there's a doctor as a neighbor for me. I go to that doctor. I go to that hospital. No, in the United States of America, the insurance company says, okay, these are the hospitals we're working with. You go to that hospital. In Belgium, it's not so. So in Belgium, you are free to go to Brussels or Bruges or Ghent or Antwerp to go to the hospital and also to see a doctor. You can choose one single room in the contract. Then you pay a little bit more of premium. It's not so many. Or you can choose, okay, for me, a double room is sufficient, and then you pay less. I mean, less is like 50 euros yearly per person. So if you pay about 50 euros per person more, you can stay in one single room. Limited outpatient costs are also covered. So 3090, that will say that, for example, at the 1st of January, you are be hospitalized for an operation. So all the outpatient costs 30 days before hospitalization and 90 days after hospitalization are covered. What are outpatient costs? Outpatient costs are costs who are not directly related to the hospitalization, doctor, drugs. So if you go to the drugstore, you buy some medicines, these costs are outpatient costs, and these are covered 30 days before hospitalization and 90 days afterwards. And we have a worldwide assistance. If you go, for example, for a holiday to the United States, you're gonna visit some family members, and there's an hospitalization in the United States, you can call an urgent number of 24 number, and they will assist you. And all these costs are covered. It's limited covered, but they are covered in a limited way mentioned in the general conditions. So if you are, if you have already an insurance, I can search for you the limited costs abroad. And also the big advantage with the Belgium healthcare insurance is that if you go to the hospital for an operation, you receive a bank card from your insurance company, and with that bank card, you give it to the reception, and the insurance company will pay directly the invoices to the hospital. You don't have to pay any advance or a credit card or something. So that's banking card that you receive from your healthcare provider is your credit card. You give it to the reception, and you don't have to pay any amounts or advances. Okay, I see there's one question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured that should be an interesting topic for a lot of people, right? The healthcare aspect. Yeah, should I just read that out for us?
Yeah,
then?
okay.
Okay. All right, so the question is, an American retirement age moves to Belgium and becomes a resident. She pays a mutuelle for medical coverage. After 2 years, they inform her that because she can have medical insurance through Medicare in the USA, she cannot buy medical insurance anymore from the mutuelle. Private insurance is 4 times as expensive, so are there other possibilities, meaning, for example, what if she became a Belgian citizen? Can she then buy or receive medical insurance from the mutuelle? Tom, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think she has to think about to become a Belgian citizen. And when you are a Belgian citizen, you can have a coverage by the medical insurance from the mutuelle, and then you can underwrite a private insurance. And the problem is with expats that they have already limited or a full cover in the home country, and then they come over to Belgium and they want to also a coverage, health coverage, and the home provider, for example, the United States of America, says, okay, medical costs in Belgium we don't cover, and the Belgium health provider says, okay, but you are covered for home risk in the United States of America, so we can't provide you any healthcare coverage in Belgium. So as an expat, you falling between both insurances, and we have temporary solutions to cover the medical costs in Belgium, for example, for 1 month or for 6 months, for the period to become a Belgian citizen. If you come to Belgium, it can take some weeks or months to become a Belgian citizen. And in that period, we see that some people doesn't have any coverage. And to avoid the problems with this period, we have solutions with several insurance companies to give a temporary coverage in Belgium for inpatient, outpatient, dental care and assistance worldwide, but not in the United States of America, because there you have a coverage from your own country, from your home country. So in Belgium and in Europe, we can provide you, for example, a coverage for 6 months for inpatient, outpatient, dental care and assistance. And then after 6 months, you have your papers to become a Belgian citizen, and then we can close the temporary coverage and we can start up the coverage in Belgium for the as a resident. As a resident in Belgium, we can provide you cheaper coverage and better coverage, but you have to be a resident, like the three, like you see here, the three conditions. When the three conditions are fully done, we can provide you the healthcare insurance in Belgium. But the period before these three conditions, it's very difficult. I know, but we have solutions, and that's the most important thing. I say we have solutions. It's not cheap, especially for people who are getting a little bit older, because the premium, the based for the healthcare insurance is age. The younger you are, the less you pay. The older you are, the more you pay. So I know that for temporary insurances for older people, it's quite expensive, but we can only offer you a solution. It's up to you to sign and to take the risk. But as an answer for this question, I can give you the advice to underwrite a temporary solution until the time to getting Belgian residents.
Okay, so just I guess just to recap a bit, this falls into the aspect of the expat insurance, as it doesn't meet the three conditions in the case we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that can just be a more expensive sort of road to go down, but just something we have to take into account, I suppose, if somebody were looking to either move to or move from Belgium, and think about the implications of such a move with regard to the system, right?
Yeah, indeed. So we have the extended healthcare with outpatient costs and dental care. So we have spoken about the inpatient costs, but inpatient costs are covered only when you have at least 1 night in the hospital or 1 day clinic. In cases without visiting a clinic, for example, if you go to a dentist and you have pain relief on your dents, you go to a dentist and he has to remove some teeth. You don't go to the hospital, you go to a dentist in Belgium. So we can cover you an outpatient costs and also a dental care coverage. This is also a solution what I'm speaking about. Possibly we underwrite temporary travel and healthcare insurance for short periods for you and your visitors. Also, I have several clients who are an expat here in Belgium, and they say, okay, yeah, I'm divorced and my children of 18 or 19 comes to Belgium for 6 months, and then they go back to their hometown, for example, Brazil or Argentina. Can I provide healthcare and dental cost coverage for my children for 6 months? It's possible. So it's possible for foreign people who doesn't has an address, officially address in Belgium, to cover them with medical costs. Also, the opposite, if you due private or professional reasons, you are an expat and you say, okay, I go for to China or to Japan for 5 months or 6 months, then you can come to me and you say, okay, I want the coverage for 6 months to Japan. I can provide you. For longer periods, longer than 1 year, it's also possible. So we have some expat insurances, solutions on top of any social security. So as an expat, you are traveling constantly from Japan to Belgium, then to the United States of America. And if you say, okay, I would like a cover in Japan, in Belgium, and in the United States of America, it's possible. It's not quite cheap, but it's a totally full package of healthcare, inpatient, outpatient, dental, and assistance, worldwide coverage, a free choice of doctor also in America. So that's a full range of packages of all the healthcare insurance solutions we can offer. So I told you leave Belgium for longer than 3 months. We have solutions, and abroad people who comes to Belgium for a couple of weeks or months, we have also solutions in these healthcare insurances.
Right. Tom, a quick question about that. So I guess in terms of the travel insurance, let's say, is it the different countries that you need to be thinking about as well as the length? Or I don't know if there's any other aspects to consider when looking at, I suppose we're talking about just premiums and such, right? Are there any other aspects to think about if you're going to be spending a bit of time in Australia, a bit of time in Japan or the USA? Or is that's pretty much what we've just gone over? But was there anything else that we need to be thinking about?
Yeah, this is the healthcare, but you can also underwrite travel insurances for your luggage, also a cancellation, because today taking an aircraft and an airplane is not easy sometimes. If you go to London Heathrow or Schiphol in Amsterdam, it's quite hectical. So if your flights are cancelled, you can also receive an compensation, financial compensation, or a solution. For example, if you are struck in London and there are no more flights for during 2 or 3 days, they arrange you a room. They arrange to provide you some information. So as an expat, or people who are frequently traveling, I give the advice to underwrite travel insurances, including a luggage and cancellation insurances. One of the biggest insurance companies is in Belgium is Europe Assistance. They are the biggest travel insurance in Belgium. I work with them, also with Allianz Worldwide. Allianz Global Insurance is also a travel insurance company. So if you are frequently travel, not only as a private person, but also as a professional person, for you or your employees, you can underwrite business contracts as also. And also, if you are traveling with your car, we can provide you car assistance in case of damage or in case of theft for your car. So it's all possible.
Right, brilliant. Thanks for that, Tom.
No problem. We spoke about damage insurances like cars and fire insurances and healthcare. Now we're going to speak about non-damage insurances. What is non-damage insurances? Like life cover, pension cover, disability. You see three pillars. The pension construction of the Belgium employee is based on the three pillars. The first pillar is the pension you will receive from the government. The second one is the pension amount you will receive as an employer or as a self-employed person. And the third pillar is the pension amount you can build as a private person. First of all, the first pillar, you will receive a pension capital from the Belgian government as an employee. So it's a monthly salary. You don't receive at your pension age, you don't receive a lump sum capital. You receive until your last day of living a monthly salary. And it depends from your salary as an employee and the numbers of years you worked. So that's the base pension capital you will receive. As an independent, you pay per 3 months a contribution by the Belgian Social Security. All the independents will know what I mean. Every 3 months you will receive an invoice of the Belgian Social Security and have to pay the premiums. And as the moment of 60 age of 67, and as an independent, you say, okay, I will retire, you will receive a monthly pension amount. At pension age, a monthly income until your last day of living, and it's not a lump sum. In the most other countries, is a lump sum. At your if you are 65, you will receive a letter. Okay, Mrs. or Mr., you will receive that amount, and it's all done. In Belgium, you will receive a monthly income. Secondly, your employer can also top up the pension amount of the government, an extra pension amount. So as an employee, I said mostly, not all of the employers will underwrite a group insurance. A group insurance is, like I said, an insurance construction that all the employees of the same employer will receive. Mostly it's 4 or 5% from your monthly salary will be paid in a pension contract, and at day of retirement, your your employer will say, okay, thank you for your working years, and this is your pension amount you will receive. That's a lump sum. So in when you receive a pension from the government, it's a monthly pension. From your employer, it's a lump sum amount from all the years. As an independent, you can work with several contracts as a self-employed, or you have a company at your own, you can underwrite a pension contract for your own company and in favor yourself, of course. At pension age, you receive a lump sum capital of your insurance company, and you receive a yearly fiscal tax reduction of 30% on the paid premium. That's a present, a gift from the government. They say, okay, if you pay monthly contributions for your pension amount, we will give you a tax reduction of 30% on these paid premiums. And the last one is a private pillar. So we have the government, we have the pillar from the employer, and then we, as a private person, we can also doing like pension contributions There are a lot of possibilities. I don't want to discuss them here because it's too big and too theoretic. So if you have some questions about all these pension contributions, I can answer them afterwards. But don't forget that in each stage of your life cycle, you can do pension contribution. From as an employee, your employer does a pension contribution, and you in private person can also do a pension contribution. You can extend the pension capital with extra coverage. There are some guarantees you can underwrite for extra risk life capital in case of a death. If you say, okay, I have a family with a wife and 2 children, and my wife is a house mom, and I am the person working, and in case of my death, my personal family will have financial troubles because we have to pay the rent, we have to pay the school for the children, we have to go to the magazines to buy food. So in case of my death, I will give a capital of, for example, 100,000 K to my legal heirs, to my family, to my wife, and to my children. So you can underwrite this guarantee in the pension contract. Also, you can underwrite and disability coverage due to sickness and accidents. For example, we all know that sickness is frequently comes to our personal life, cancer, all these diseases. It happens that a family is financially hit by a disease. For example, you have a family also with the wife and 2 children. Your wife is a house mom, you are the working person who earns money, and you have a big disease like cancer. You are not able to work, so you can underwrite a disability insurance, and that insurance provides you the monthly salary. So you have a monthly salary of, for example, 2,000 K with your employer. In case of long-term sickness, the first month you receive the full salary from your employer, and from the second month you receive an income from the Belgian Social Security, about 65 or 70% of your salary. So you will receive, for example, 1,300 K instead of 2,000 euros. To fill in this gap of 700 euros monthly, you can underwrite a disability insurance due to sickness or accident to complete your full excess of salary of 2,000 euros. So you can, or your family, are able to pay the bills, and that to avoid that the sickness has a financial impact on your private life and your family life. So the most of the Belgian people has a disability coverage, and we have also waiver of premium. What's a waiver of premium? When you are not able to work due to sickness or an accident, your pension contributions stops. So if your monthly salary getting lost by sickness, and you receive monthly the invoices of the pension contributions, that's quite financial tough to pay. So in this case, waiver of premium, the insurance company says, okay, in case of sickness or an accident, we will pay your pension contribution until your pension age. So it's an insurance for the insurance. So if you are not able to work, the insurance company will say, okay, you have to need to build an extra pension amount at your pension age. We will pay the monthly premiums. So that's an extra guarantee. So don't forget, top up of the pension contributions, you have the choice. It's not an obligation. You have the free choice to underwrite a debt capital, a disability, and a waiver of premium. So it's quite fast. I'm explaining this to you because it's I give presentations for these guarantees for 2 hours, so it's quite difficult and quite theoretic. So if you have questions about these insurances, I can ask them. I can respond them afterwards, or in private person by mail or by phone. But it's quite difficult to understand these guarantees. It's quite tough guarantees, but these are very important for the financial impact of an accident or a sickness in your family. So disability, I've spoken. So the first month, when you are not able to work due to an accident or a sickness, the first month you receive 100% salary of your employer. From the second month, you receive about 65 or 70% of your salary from the Social Security. That has a financial impact, of course. To avoid this, we have these guarantees. As an independent, the first month you receive nothing, and the second month you receive a minimum salary of 1,350 euros as a single person. This amount is committed by the Belgian law. So if you are today an independent and you are self-employed with a monthly income of 5,000 euros monthly, from the second month you receive 1,350. So that's a huge financial impact on your life, private life. So I give you the advice to think, okay, what's the impact on my personal situation, on my family situation, if I'm not able to work anymore from tomorrow due to sickness, for example. So it's personal, and every person has to think about it. Okay, what are the impacts for me, for my children, and what can I do about this? What kind of amounts, what an amount has to be covered to protect my family members. So that's one question that you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, and I guess if I can add to that, Tom, a bit, I guess if you're an expat and living in Belgium, like say you're a US expat, it might be the case that the easiest path to getting this sort of coverage would maybe be to check with your company. Maybe it's a US-based company operating in Belgium,
Yep.
or maybe you might still have coverage back in the States that you could be able to expand. That could also be another thing to look into. So just try and, I guess the idea is to just try to keep the big picture in mind in terms of the holistic overview.
Yep. Yeah, I have clients with a salary split. I have clients who are. I have clients with a 50% salary in the United States of America and a 50% salary in Belgium, and then you have to figure it out. Okay, in case of sickness or an accident or by death, what amounts I receive? Is this enough? If I have an accident in Belgium, does the American insurance company pays the risk because it's an accident in Belgium? So you have to figure it out personally. What are the risks and what are the solutions? And there are a lot of solutions, but you have to take the step to see, okay, what are the risks today? Because it's all complicated with the salary splits. I have also expats while working for the company in Brazil or China, for example, and and the family lives in Belgium. Okay, if they have a working accident in China, will the insurance company will pay the legal heirs in Belgium? If they pay, how many? How is it regulated? Is it paid in Chinese currency, or is it paid in euros and dollars? It's all normally it's all mentioned in the contracts, but these contracts are sometimes difficult to understand. So it's up to me to guide you in this material. So if there are some questions afterwards, you can always contact me. So contracts, an insurance contract in Belgium, it's legally restricted. It's always yearly contracts. It's not possible to underwrite an insurance contract for longer than 1 year. If you cancel an insurance contract, you have to cancel it 3 months before a renewal date. If you have, for example, a fire insurance and a fire insurance because you're renting an apartment in Brussels, and due professional or private reasons you quit living here in Belgium and you go back to the United States of America, it's possible to cancel the fire insurance in case of leaving Belgium, but you have to mention it by mail or in a letter, or in the rent contract has also be cancelled. So these are the reasons to cancel insurance. The contracts are yearly renewed. So that means that every contract in Belgium is for 1 year. They automatically renew automatically. Or if you say, I want to cancel this insurance, you have to cancel it 3 months before the renewal date. I give you a little bit of homework. First of all, you have to do make a list of all your contracts, your insurance contracts, fire, car, life cover. I don't know what contracts you have, but check the renewal dates. Check if this contract is still available, is still running, it's not stopped. It's very important because sometimes I see contracts from expats. The expat thinks, okay, I'm still covered with it, and the contract is stopped because the bank did some things, or you call to the bank and you said, okay, I will leave, but they don't send a confirmation of cancellation. And so first of all, you can check your contracts if they are still running, if they are still covering, if they are updated, because a contract will automatically renew at the renewal day, and time flies, and sometimes the personal situation of a family or personal of a person can be changed during the years. Is this contract updated on the risk that I have today? So if you want that I make quotations of, or I guide you in your personal contracts, you can always contact me. I explain you the risk. I explain you the clauses, the dangers. Sometimes a contract in Belgium is not clearly enough. It's not clear enough. It's not explained well for which risk you are covered. So and you know, when I have the experience in my office that people comes to me and they say, okay, can you check this contract? And it's a contract about 20 years old and it's not totally updated. They forget if, for example, you have a fire insurance, but in the last 3 years you built an extra garage or a swimming pool, and the swimming pool is not covered. You have claims in insurances, but our goal is to avoid the claims. It's better to avoid the claims than the claims in the claims and the problems who comes from the claims. So I'm working proactive, and I says to you, okay, I give you the advice to search all your contracts and to see, are they updated? Are the risk coverage is enough for the risk family today? Are the amounts enough? So you have to check normally once a year your insurance contract. That's the advice I give you. If you have questions, all of questions, you can ask me. Just ask. I don't send you an invoice when you ask a question. It's not my way of working. I am here to help you and to assist you, and I'm the guide of your insurances here in Belgium. So these are my contact details. It was very fast today, but if you have personal questions, you can ask them. Okay, thank you for your helpful presentation. I'm the one who gives you thank you, because you listened to my voice for 1 hour. So I hope this was interesting for all of you, and you have my contact details. If you have some questions, I'm here. So Joshua.
Yeah, brilliant. No, that was great. Thank you very much, Tom. That was very informative, and I'm sure we learned a lot from the session about how this all works in Belgium. So appreciate you taking the time. That was really good. I know we're a bit over time. So
sorry.
no, it's okay. We can, if you have a couple of minutes, we could hang around to see if anyone has any questions we didn't cover today. Other than that, like I mentioned at the start, we will be putting up a recording of this later. We'll also be reaching out to each of the attendees with the contact details of Tom, and we will also be sending along copies of the information that we have here. Like Tom said, he doesn't bite. Feel free to reach out, and he'd be great for him to hear from you. And if you have any other questions about that or how that relates to life as an expat abroad, feel free to contact us as well. Yeah, I think unless anyone has any other questions, then, oh wait, sorry, we do have one. Oh, we do have an anonymous attendee says, thank you for your helpful presentation, much appreciated. And we got a smiley face, which is nice. Okay, brilliant. Well then, thanks once again for taking the time to do this, Tom. It was always a pleasure. And for everybody else, thanks very much for coming, and we'll be reaching out, and just have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.